Okay, so as much like plasticity, my trial account is now no longer working. So I've reverted. Well, I'm paying for Shaper 3D. I am tempted with plasticity. I mean, it seems to be very functional and do everything that I need in terms of dimensionally accurate thing. And this is the sort of thing. So we're not talking about concept design for video games. So I need to make a part, and the part I'm making, this is the, if you can't recognize it, this is like a iPhone 12 um, camera arrangement, with its cluster, and I need to make I think it's a 37 mil diameter. Oh, let's see. I mean, it's not giving me the information that I want. But I need to make a filter adapter basically. I bought a case and I end up getting vitamins from from Amazon for some reason. So I thought, and it's like I want to film soon. I mean, yeah, I could get the right case that I can attach the filters to, but then I thought, well, maybe I could 3D print something, and with my vernier calipers, maybe I can measure it accurately enough, and maybe scale up the next version, plus or 5 half a mil or something like that, and eventually got something that works. This was like the first sort of draft, and the problem was there's a lidar sensor on the iPhone camera that it needs for focusing. So it's like this design doesn't facilitate that. So let's get to a design that does work, because it seems to work. I've tried, so I've allowed. I mean, I've allowed the lidar sensor. So basically, I just extended the. I wanted to, because the thing is, I wanted like a press fit clip on thing, and I've 3D printed something that works, so I can press fit the filters in that I would need to get a custom case for. Which I've designed this around the mouse case, because that was the first case I got, and they make great cases with the MagSafe. If you want wireless charging, okay, I don't want to get a bit of a shill thing going on, but they have magnets in their cases, so the thing actually sticks to the wireless thing, so you can have it on your car. I mean, it's expensive, they're a bit pricier, but they work. And I thought this is the case that I always have on the thing on my iPhone, and so I want to make a filter adapter that works, because it's this whole thing of trying to up the production value if you've only got an iPhone. I mean, they're great for, they take great pictures, but maybe if you want to, we're not talking mirrorless Sony, I don't know, A7 III or something, which is what I want. But it was like, when it's like you want to make a video, you don't really have the money to have a fancy camera, but you've got a pretty good smartphone camera, right? Or a new camera. But the problem with smartphone cameras and GoPros alike is they have this business with the shutter speed and motion blur, and it's this whole, you probably see it on like some action camera stuff. It has this really stroby, super sharp, no motion blur thing, and it just makes the thing look cheap. And so this, this is a thing of like, well, if you can, because the thing is, it's basically you have two things you can adjust: the shutter speed on a camera and the ISO. And if you don't have a way of putting neutral density filters on your camera, then the problem is that then the shutter speed will go crazy high, to like a thousandth of a second or something, and that will give you horrible motion blur, because the shutter speed is linked to the frame rate, and this is it's kind of the visual effects background thing. Is that you need to basically, if you're shooting at 24 frames a second, you need to be shooting at 48 on the shutter speed, and so and the problem is like, well, yeah, but you can do that if you can get the ISO to the correct level, which is the response of the film. And so you put what's called neutral density filters, which is basically like a semi-transparent filter that limits half the light or quarter of the light going through the thing in a neutral way. The sort of reduces the sensitivity of the sensor. So the problem I'm having is going out on a really sunny day with an action camera or a smartphone, you'll get horrible video in terms of motion blur. Everything will be super crispy because the shutter speed will be going through the roof in terms of fractions of a second, a hundredth, a thousandth. I mean, thousands of a second. So, but the thing is, it's all linked to your frame rate. So, I needed to to cut a long story short, I bought something on Amazon. They sent me the wrong thing. I wanted to make something in the coming days, and it's like I have the filters. I have no way of mounting them to my iPhone that doesn't mess up the LiDAR sensor thing. So this is why this is a slightly weird shape, because this accommodates the LiDAR sensor shining through the ND filter, and then it probably makes it less effective, but it still works. I tried it. I 3D printed the thing. I guess I should do some test videos, but so that's what I came out with, and it works. And I can press fit the filter in and shake the iPhone around, and the filter doesn't fall off, the adapter doesn't fall off. It sort of works. So I'm just going with that. And that's the best thing about 3D printing is it's like sometimes you need a thing, and you can possibly buy the thing, but the thing might take some time to turn up. And then when it turns up and it's the wrong thing, it's like, well, I had this whole plan about going off filming this video, and it all was reliant. And it's like, well, this is a great thing about 3D. This took like probably, I don't know, 2 hours to 3D print, maybe an hour to draw up, just some calipers, vernier calipers, not terribly accurate. Maybe if you're pushing it a tenth of a millimeter, actually. But the thing is, you do a test print, and you think, oh, it doesn't quite fit, so I'll make it a little bit bigger. And the thing that the big takeaway, well, it's not really a big takeaway at all, but the thing that I've learned is, as tempting as it is just to scale up the 3D model in the slicing program like Cura or Simplify 3D or something, is don't do that. I mean, although you'll get something that works, it's better to go back to the CAD model and make that adjustment. And that all seems to work. It clips on fine. I guess I'll, at some point show the video. But that's basically it. Just more experiments in 3D CAD stuff. And yeah, that's it.